so the dollar's going down. It has been going down for about 6 months. It's down against
Yep.
the euro, Swiss franc, other major currencies. That's just a fact.
The worst time since President Nixon.
Since 1973, and we all know what happened after that, which was the petrodollar accord in 1974, and that was involved in that in certain ways. So the dollar's going down. So here's what I would say. First of all, so from that's a fact, right? Like you say, you're entitled to your opinions, but you don't get your own facts. That's a fact. But what does it mean? So the narrative that's spun out of it is this is the end of the dollar. People are getting out of the dollars. The end of the role of the dollar as reserve currency is the great reset. It's all nonsense. The dollar decline is being engineered by the Treasury. This is part of the Mar-a-Lago Accord that Stephen Moran wrote about last November. If you're up for a 24-page
On purpose.
On purpose, exactly. So now, when has this been done before? Twice. Richard Nixon, Henry Kissinger, Bill Simon, Jerry Parsky, and others engineered the decline of the dollar at the Smithsonian Accord in 1971, in December 1971. And then it played out over the following years. And, that's when gold took off. The Arabs were worried about it. And we engineered the petrodollar accord, which locked in the role of the dollar ever since. And the dollar's been up and down. But as the leading reserve currency that you need, it was a very simple concept, which is, hey, the whole world needs oil. So if you price oil in dollars, that means the whole world needs dollars. Simple transitive law. And that's, like I said, that's been true ever since. Now, there have been up and downs. When was this second time that the United States government engineered a dollar devaluation? It was 1985, James Baker and the Plaza Accord. In 1985, the dollar was at an all-time high. If you use there are a lot of dollar indices. There's Dixie and Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal. They use Dixie, et cetera. But there's the Federal Reserve Board has an all-country trade-weighted dollar index. And if you look at that, the all-time high was 1985. James Baker engineered the decline of the dollar. And how did he do it? We weren't on a gold standard. See, with Nixon, you went off gold, and that started the ball rolling. The Smithsonian Accord, but Baker did it with the cooperation of, it wasn't the entire G7, but it was the five of the biggest central banks in the world. They met at the Plaza Hotel. That's where the name comes from, and they agreed to do it. So what you had was central bank, global developed economy central bank intervention to bring the dollar down. They had targets, and then in 1987, they met at the Louvre, and they said, okay, we did it. Now let's stabilize it. And then you had what they call the Great Moderation for 20 years, from 1987 to 2007, 2008, that's when Obama started a new currency war. But my point being, it's been done twice before. Ken Trump and Stephen Moran and others in the White House, Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, pulled this off for the third time in 50 years. Well, my point is, it's a good question rhetorically, but that's what they're doing. So don't fight the Treasury on this. The dollar is going to go down more. It's going to stay down. And for people to say it has to bounce back, this is not driven by the market. This is being engineered by the Treasury. Well, what happened in the 1970s? Gold went up 2,700%. And one of your esteemed panelists, Frank Justra, made that point yesterday. So gold's going to go up a lot. It does it in stages. I would expect $4,000 an ounce by the end of this year, 2025, but much higher in the years to come. If you just took the two great, there were no gold bull markets before 1971 because the world was on a gold standard. Gold didn't go up or down. I always tell people, if you want to make money in gold, don't root for a gold standard because you can't make any money. But from 71 to 1980, gold went up about well over 2,000%. From the other bull market, 1999 to 2011, rather, it went up about over 600%. So if you just take a simple average of those two bull markets, you would say that this has two things. This has years to run, and gold doubling is nice. I love it, but it's probably going to go up maybe 5 or 10 times. So you'll see gold in well over $10,000 in the not too distant future, but short run 4,000.